Blood components. Blood is a vital fluid that circulates throughout the human body, carrying oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and other essential substances to tissues and organs. It composed It is composed of different types of cells such as red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, as well as liquid components called plasma, which contains proteins, electrolytes, and other molecules. Red blood cells are biconcave in shape and is continuously produced in the bone marrow. Now, the red blood cells contains hemoglobin, which gives it the color red and gives the blood the color red. Uh, as we breathe, the blood passes through the heart into the lungs, which oxygenates the hemoglobin and transfers it into the different parts of the body. Now, as the hemoglobin loses its oxygen, it attracts carbon dioxide and other gas waste. Then it returns into the lungs and then it in order to exhale it. Platelets. Platelets are small disc-shaped cells fragments that plays a crucial role in the blood clotting. When they encounter damage, the blood cells expose the connective tissue. They become activated and release chemicals that trigger coagulation cascade, leading to a formation of a blood clot in the immune system. Now, the white blood cells, also known as the leukocytes, are a crucial part of the body's immune system, and they help defend against infections, diseases by identifying and attacking pathogens such as viruses and bacteria. Now, there are 5 types of white blood cells: the neutrophils, monocytes, eosinophils, lymphocytes, and the basophils. The first is the neutrophils. These are the most common type of white blood cells, and they are the first to respond to infections, and they engulf and destroy invading pathogens. Next is the lymphocytes. They come in 2 types, the B cell and the T cells. The B cells produce antibodies that target specific pathogens, while the T cells regulates immune response. The monocytes. These cells are larger than the neutrophils and lymphocytes, and they can help clean up a body cell, a dead cells, and other cells. Eosinophils. These cells are involved in the body response to allergies and parasitic infections. Basophils. These cells release histamine, a chemical that causes inflammation in response to an infection and injury. Granular. When you say granular, it refers to a structure that have a granular or grainy appearance when viewed under a microscope. Now, this is because these structures contain numerous small granules or particles. For example, the granular leukocytes, which is a type of white blood cells that has a small granules. The example of this is the basophil, eosinophil, and the neutrophil. The agranular. The agranular refers to a structure that do not have a granular appearance. Agranular leukocytes, also known as the monocytes, and the lymphocytes, are a type of white blood cells that do not have a visible granules in their cytoplasm. A granular structure can also refer to a specific region of the brain that lacks granular appearances seen in other regions. Types of blood disease. Now, I only included 2. First is the anemia. It is a condition in which a body doesn't have enough blood cells or hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in the red blood cells that carries oxygen to the body tissues. Symptoms of anemia can include fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath, pale skin.
Leukemia. It is a type of cancer that affects the blood and bone marrow, which is the spongy tissue inside the bones where blood cells are produced. In leukemia, abnormal white blood cells are produced, which can interfere with the production of normal blood cells. And the symptoms of leukemia can include fatigue, weight loss, fever, infections, and easy bruising or bleeding. There are several different types of leukemia, including acute lymphoblastic leukemia, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia, and chronic myeloid leukemia. Cardiac blood flow. Once the deoxygenated blood enters the superior and inferior vena cava to the right atrium, then it goes through the tricuspid valve to the right ventricle. Next, it enters the pulmonary valve, and next it enters the pulmonary artery to the lungs in order to oxygenate the blood. Once the blood is oxygenated, it enters the left atrium, and it goes to the bicuspid valve to the left ventricle. Then it goes to the aortic valve, and it goes to the aorta, and it distributes to the